the wifey left. It's like I'm by myself. Do you guys remember when you guys found your girlfriend or your favorite girlfriend, or for those of you that are dating, you know, or do you remember those chemicals or those warm feelings, butterflies that you say you feel? Okay, so you have that still with your phone. So we're going to talk about the chemistry that your phone gives you, but keep in mind that not the internet. So we are separating that idea, not the internet. So we are not going to talk about the fact that you spend too much time on the internet. We are talking about the fact that you spend too much time with your phone. And we're going to talk about the light of that phone also. Remember that if you spend 1 hour a night with your phone, you're killing 30 minutes of the melatonin that you need to be creating. So the remember, not the internet. The internet is not the problem here. When you arrive home and you are tired, stressed out, you're kind of pissed because you don't like some people at work, whatever. So you take a shower, helps you. You take a little nap, it helps you. You eat something, it helps you. But there's this little thought after you're all relaxed and happy. Now you start thinking, I need to go to the bathroom and I need to take my phone so I can find things on the phone. Now, the finding things on the phone is what gives you this little happiness. See? That's this guy talking. So when you put that thought in your head, you're like, I want to search. Yeah, I want to search and I want to find. So that gives you dopamine. Remember that I said if you make yourself happy, it gives you this element that makes you happy. There's another thing that happens. There is morphine that comes out of another system called the opioid system. So now you have this drug. So your phone is giving you drugs. Yeah, it's cool. It's making you happy and whatever. But the thing is that you take your phone, out of the restroom, and then you come and you sit or you go into your bedroom and let's say it's like 10. So you drive yourself all the way to 11, still looking at the phone. So what that does is giving you the light. The light out of the phone is affecting the amount of melatonin that you are going to produce, because your body it's like a clock. And inside of your head, you have these minions that are waiting for the bulb to turn off. But instead, you're on the phone. So the light's still there. They're seeing your light. They're seeing that you're still there because our body has light receptors. So what you need to do is separate. You need to separate from the phone, because guess what? When you take the phone away from your face to put it down to charge it, then it's blue light. Right there next to you, you have a blue light, which is your charger, or there's another device that has a light. So we have to separate ourselves from that charging unit. Charge your phone somewhere else so you get rid of your light. Okay, so there is a study at Stanford that was done with a man. Some amount of days, those patches and wires and computers that they do, they investigated to see how this guy sleeps without any light in the room. And then when those days went by and they got their readings, then they put a bulb hidden, a small bulb behind his knee. And the results were shocking. So they discovered, okay, let's use the word discovered, the light does affect your sleep. So once again, separate from that. Now, quick tips to how you are going to separate from that light. But before, I got to tell you this. When you separate yourself from the light, you still have this mental images of everything that you were looking on your phone. So this has two purposes, because you are going to not be on your phone that hour or whatever amount of time, that it could be 3 hours, who knows what you're doing, whatever amount of time you're spending on the phone. Now you're going to be like, what do I use that time with? Is there a repair that you need to do at home that you're like, I'm going to do it on the weekend? But instead, you could just, by little bits of amount of work, you can get it done before the weekend, so you have the weekend good, so you spend the weekend with your family. Now, your family comes into the picture, then instead of you fixing something, Do you want to reconnect with your family, talk to your son, maybe take them out for a walk, which, exercise. So you are going to change all of a sudden because you are not using that time to be on your phone. Now you're like, ooh, I'm a good parent now. I take my kids out on a walk. Or this is like the most amazing one. Marital relationships. Yes, sex. You've heard that sex is like very good for your health. People say, oh, have sex because it's very beneficial. It helps your heart. People talk about that stuff. But we're not going to talk about the elements that happen while you do that. We just have to tell you that there is chemicals that are born when you are in that activity. If you're like a rabbit, magnificent. But if you're not, then you need to kind of get yourself into that. If you are in the marital status or you have the easiness to it, then I suggest you utilize this. So what happens is when you get into that action, your chemicals that are bad, all of a sudden are going to be attacked by these other good chemicals that you created right there and then. And right after you finish, you're back to, you have level everything. You like this right, perfect soup of chemicals because you did that. So if you can utilize this activity, I suggest you do that. Let's go back to what do we do about that light. If you go to the internet, you Google f.lux, you're going to find an app that is for free that it helps your computer to be blocked from those bad lights. If you have an iPhone, the iPhone has a cool thing built already into it. You just have to activate it. It's called night shift. So those things, there's a lot of things that you can do to try to attack those lights. Now, if you believe that sleeping is not your problem because you could say, well, I had to have the TV on to fall asleep, then guess what? That the light is not your problem and you shouldn't be watching this specific video. Just for people that cannot find, why is it that I cannot sleep? You may want to look into this one. So like the night shift on the iPhone, there's many things that you can find to try to improvise or eliminate this light. There's this glasses that they block the blue light. And they say that if you put them on, like within 1 minute, you start to feel sleepy. That's because if you put them on at night, your receptors are not going to see those blue lights or those white lights. By the way, there's also the white lights. You get into this thing of, it's a mode that your brain sees that, oh, I think that there's those minions. They're like, wow, there's no more blue light. Now they start to activate this process. Okay, so that's all I'm going to tell you tomorrow. I'm sorry, today. We are going to talk about that exercise, because there was a lot of questions yesterday about, what do you talk about the specific 4-minute exercise? So we are going to give you that video on Tuesday. Hopefully that we can record some samples so you see, or maybe you just do those because, and we are going to add the word tabara. And we'll see you next Tuesday.